This was the first functional crankbait that I've made. It's time to repaint it. And in the spirit of first crankbaits, I'm going to use these paints that most people have on hand. We're going to use these out of the airbrush. I've not had good luck with using these out of the airbrush. So if you're going to invest in paint, go ahead and get the airbrushing paint. But if you just have this and want to take a test drive in it, we'll show you how to do that. So to start with, we're going to sand off the paint that's already on here, or at least get it down to the body and get rid of some of this junky clear coat that I put on there. I think it's about time for a new container. Here's the sanded bait. Sanding sealer. I'm going to actually foil this real quick, and then we're going to paint it. Loctite General Performance. Make sure you get the shiny side down. Start from the middle, work your way out. This is an X-Acto knife blade, or handle I should say. It's got diamond gripping on it. We're going to use that as a texturizer. Alright, so we're going to start with the Delta ceramic coat. Okay, so we're going to first put in only a drop. I've got the pressure at about 35. Pretty high for me. And nothing. So I'm going to first reduce it with a actual reducer. I want to see if that works first. This has the best chance of working. We're literally just going to mix it in the cup. That was 2 drops of reducer in there. Okay, we're going to backflow it. So backflow, we're literally going to put our finger on there, pull the air, and slowly pull the paint. So that's just helping us mix it better. Now, let's see if I can get some flow. Yep, there it is. Alright, we're going to see if this coats. We're getting clogs. Haven't had this problem in a while. For our next color, we're going to use this Accent Deep Forest Green. To thin this one, I think I'm going to try water. Because a lot of you probably won't want to get the reducer, so we'll go with the water. So I'm just going to basically the equivalent of two drops of water there. What's nice about the actual reducer is the reducer doesn't ruin your paint, doesn't make the adhesion worse. It's collecting in the rough spots where I textured it. This side. Now I'm always shooting down first before I hit my bait because I want to get rid of any clog that's sitting on there, and I don't want a bunch of paint all at once. We're doing the Delta ceramic coat again, and this is the black. We're going to see how this stencils. I can hear it sputtering really bad. We're adding some cleaner to the brush. And seems to work now. We're going to try it again. There we go. Alright, I'm going to see what that looked like. Yeah, it's not too bad. Not a real deep black, but it is on there. Alright, we're going to use this plaid plastic for plaid paint for plastic. It's a, does it have a color? Metallic gold, that's what the color is. We're going to see how this works. So let's see how the pearlescent does. I'm kind of curious. Ooh. Okay, I don't want to get too much. Kind of a dark gold back. These are great, by the way. Oh yeah. So the gold worked pretty good. Alright, I'm using this Delta Ceramic Coat Yellow. 1 drop of this Santa Red Rouge from Americana. This stuff is really thick. So I'm still struggling from that plastic paint. The mica must have been pretty thick in it. Okay. Oh. Looks okay. So there's our bait. It doesn't look too bad for cheap paint. It's got a nice little gold top, orange belly. But I did notice it scratches really easily. You can paint with the cheap paints. It does work. It's not easy, not very fun. This took me probably double the time that had I done this normally, it would have taken. If you're just trying out airbrushing and you want to see if you like airbrushing or see if you really want to get into lure making, you can use these paints. Just realize you're going to have a much better experience using Createx paints or the airbrush paints. You know, anything that's meant for the airbrush, you're going to have a much better experience. The Pash Talon, I recommend that airbrush. It's cheap to start with. I think either the same price or the cheaper than the Neo. So let's go through some of the conclusions. Can you paint with cheap acrylic paints? Yes, yes you can. They will go through an airbrush. Can you water it down with regular water? Yes. Can you water it down with airbrush reducer? Even better. And can you foil and use it? You can, but anywhere you spray with paint is going to dull the foil. So can you use a stencil? So obviously I used a stencil. It looks pretty good. Now clogging, I had a lot more problems with clogging. So if you're just getting frustrated with clogging, say you started it and you're just like, I just can't handle all this clogging, I recommend going to some airbrush paints or getting a new airbrush. Like I said, recommend the Pash Talon. If you have an iWad Neo, they are kind of jam-o-matics. Some of them work great, but the quality control is not quite perfect on them, and you can get a really nasty Neo like I did, and it's kind of a headache.